All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Star Jump Station. I am your host, Grim. With me, as always, is Ender. Ender, hello. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful, wonderful,
It's a big day.
wonderful.
It's a big day. It's a lot to talk about. Hello, everyone in chat. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got a lot to go through. It is Invictus Day 1, Greycat and Aegis. I'm sure most of you have not been under a rock. You know everything that's going on right now, from the ship releases to the controversies and everything in between. We're going to get to all of it. Don't worry. We're going to talk through all of it, the pros, the cons, the excitement, the disappointments, all that good stuff. We're going to get to it, but we do have a show to do. We got a schedule to stay on. We have certain things we have to talk about. And as always, I like to start the show with Ender. Ender, how was your week, man? How are you doing? You haven't been doing a lot of Star Citizen lately, right? You got some stuff going on in life.
I've got a lot going on right now. I got a movie that I'm working on that is taking up a majority of my time,
Yeah.
and I'm using my
Thank you, Eagle.
graphics card. What's left of it? Thank you, Eagle. I'm using what's left of my graphics card to make sure that's getting done.
And I had a bright light go off. I think we have a solution, by the way.
Yeah,
We'll talk.
I meant to bring
We'll
that
talk.
up. I completely forgot. We had a solution.
We had
Grim
a
sent
solution.
me a graphics card. Unfortunately, my case is too small.
What I've figured out is there's a
So-
different graphics card you need that I believe I have access to as well. So we're going to do a little switchy. You can send that one back to me. This one can go
Ultra
out.
Roid.
And we're going to get you straight because this one's a smaller form factor, but actually more powerful. So, yes. It's. I know you've been struggling with that, but also you're doing your passion project. You're editing for a film, and
Yes.
it's going to be a lift, but the tunnel on the other side. The other side of the tunnel is going to be all positive stuff. I can promise you that. Once you get a few things into your belt, it just gets better and better. Eagle, thank you for that subscription for 4 months. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate you, everyone in chat, for hanging out with us tonight. Let's go ahead and jump in. Let's not waste any more time, okay? I'm going to sling us over to this window. We're going to pop over to Quantum Vegas 2955. Do not forget, everyone, buy your tickets while you can at the current price of $99. This will be happening in Las Vegas, Nevada at Area 15 on July 12th, 2025. So coming up very soon. It's going to be a great cast of people here. Definitely some CIG people. Sean Tracy, Director of Tech Tools and Content. Sean Tracy, for those of you who don't know, has been at CIG from the very beginning, originally coming from Crytek, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, Xylo and Galactica will be there. Who knows what else will be going on, what other surprises. But it's going to be a really cool event. Put the link down in chat. Make sure you check that out. Go to the website, learn all about it. For those that don't know, there's actually some really, awesome. Yeah, it really is. There's going to be there's some really good deals for Vegas right now. Flights to Vegas are cheap and hotels are cheap because Vegas is currently down right now because of just everything going on with the economy. It's currently in a down cycle, so there's some really, really good deals to get out there. So that being said, just wanted to go over that real quick. Quick announcement there. I am looking, by the way, for next week's StarJump Station. I'm hoping to have Nate Ellis from EE Studios as our guest host. They do the machinimas over there, EE Studios. Nate is going to be at Quantum, and I wanted to do a little bit of propping up some of the other people to kind of help promote the event. So I got to talk with him, get with him, but he's real excited to be on the show, and we'll see if we can make it happen. The next thing I want to go over is our St. Jude Play Live StarJump Guardians campaign that has been going on for the month of April and May. We are currently halfway through the May part of it, and we have raised, thanks to you all, $16,975, only $25 away from $17,000, with a lifetime raise, thank you, Ender, of $33,418. Absolutely incredible. Everyone in chat, give yourself a big round of applause, an 07, all that good stuff. We do currently have 2 raffles going on. I'm going to pop over to that so you can see. We have a raffle for an Anvil Carrick with LTI. We are going to be giving that away. We're going to do that raffle drawing tonight on this episode at the end of the show. It is a $50 donation to the Tiltify link. If you're on YouTube, that link is pinned to the top of chat. Okay, you click on that Tiltify link, click on the Anvil Carrack, you donate your $50 to St. Jude, and you get a ticket for that ship for the raffle tonight. On May 30th, there's an RSI Polaris Corvette with LTI. That is a $100 donation to the Tiltify link. Both of those donated by GearCon. So GearCon, thank you very much for that. We really appreciate it. Get your donations in now if you want to get in on that Carrack raffle, though. Again, that is happening tonight. Okay, that is an Anvil Carrack with LTI. It's an incredible ship, always has been. And when Star Citizen 1.0 comes around, it's even going to be a better ship. Ender, what you got, buddy?
We have one more that's actually, I should have already gone live. But
Okay.
it hadn't, so I'm putting it live. It is the last of the
Last of the ships, right?
old misfortunes. Yep,
Oh,
last of the
Misfortune.
misfortunes.
Okay.
So that one is up for
Okay.
May 25th. No, where's my life? Where is it? Yeah, 24th. May 24th.
There we go. Okay.
So we will have 24th tonight, the 24th, and the 31st.
Eskimonian just
all
donated
drawings.
$25, pushing us to $17,000 raised for one day of meals for a patient. Eskimonian, salute
Thank
to you,
you,
buddy.
Eskimonian.
Hope
Appreciate it, brother.
you're beating in during the D&D game. And hope
Not
you're
how
well.
it works,
Thank you.
but yeah, he's coming close to murdering Ender. That's for certain. I think he's going to murder my second character. My first PC died real quick in a fireball related incident.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to murder the second one. So.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate it. Yes, the Hawk was given away. That one did happen. Big shout out to everyone hanging out with us tonight. By the way, 54 over on YouTube and 32 over on Twitch. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We had our biggest YouTube crowd earlier today at 530 people on YouTube, which is crazy. But I think I must have been the only person talking Invictus. So there you go. It's appreciate you all hanging out with us. It's always fun to be able to connect with you all here on STARJUMP Station, though, which are our primary discussion show, which we can rattle on and debate each other and all kinds of good stuff. So, Rooster Rage donated $15 towards a Misfortune with Sunspot paint. Rooster has been a constant donator through this event.
Just
appreciate you.
Killing it.
Yes, appreciate it. And then we should call it out in case he sees this. This happened maybe off of stream. I'm not sure. But Jarhead Sargent donated $100 for Red Wagon for St. Jude and towards the RSI Polaris Corvettes. Jarhead, if you're watching, thank you very much for that donation earlier today. So yeah, it's a great event. Make sure you get in on it. Before we move on, though, I would like to thank our raffle donators. You see the names up on your screen right now. Want to send a big thank you to GearCon, of course. GearCon donating a ton of ships this year. Bingo Winchester also donating a ton of ships. Lazy Donuts and James from Icon City, who we are partners of. Thank all four of these people for their donations. It has gone a long way for us to be able to raise this amount of money for St. Jude kids. So
I'm just going to point out that Ito Kairu is correct. It is bean time.
It is probably bean time, yeah. I see. I always get nervous every time Kairu is in chat because I know he's going to remind you of it being bean time.
Well, you see, it's not just him. I'm going to show you my beans here. I'm going to show you what I got left. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not a lot, and it's because I've been going through them like crazy.
Yeah.
Because unlike you, I
right.
have to put these in a blender later.
Right. Yes, you do. That is true. Okay, so what is it? Bean time? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. While we're talking beans, I just want to say,
I do have my beans.
If we somehow reach 20K,
so we have 15 more days.
We have 15 more days. If we somehow reach 20K, I will be waxing my legs. Now,
and not just for fun this time. Thanks, Hunter. Glad you caught us live.
I want to be silky smooth.
Yes,
for you, Grim.
Yeah.
But not just that. I was also asked if there was a goal that we could reach to not have me shave my beard. And I had set the goal at.
So wait a minute. This is a
lifetime.
reverse goal.
This is a community member requested it, and I am merely being the bearer of good news.
Yes.
But it's the thing, I'll
salute
still have
to
to wax my armpits and my legs and get my makeup done.
So wait a minute. What's the milestone to not
40K lifetime?
Oh,
if we were to hit 40K lifetime, I've set it high because
right.
We've hit the beard goal. People are wanting to see the beard go, I think.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. We're there. We're there. We're getting there.
Gonna go.
Luke Turner says to save the beard, it is worth it. It might be. Guardian, salute to you. Hope you're well, buddy. Thanks for hanging out in chat. By the way, everyone, if you haven't checked out Guardian's channel on YouTube, make sure you go check it out. He's got a great channel.
Guardian, potentially my beard savior, by the way. Peach or barf.
So wait a minute, you already rolled?
Yeah, I just did. But
all right, I got to roll.
Peach or barf.
There we go. I have rolled. What did I get? Licorice or burnt rubber. I actually like the licorice flavor, so if it's that, I win.
If it's burnt rubber, I promise you don't.
Here we go.
I have had it, and it is not fun. You ready for this?
No, not really.
That huff is telling, isn't it? Here we go.
Oh, I'm really nervous. All right, thank you everybody for your donations. We really appreciate it. $17,015. We're very proud of this. We're proud of you all. Hopefully, more to come here as we continue our march through May. And remember, one last thing. Did you eat yours already? Oh, I need to shut up and eat. Oh, mine's licorice. It's good. It's good. I'm happy. Perfect.
He's gotten 2 licorices.
I have.
This dude has gotten nothing but good beans, guys.
And you know what their licorice ones taste like? They taste like those soda candies. No, they taste like those old candies that taste like soda, which I love. I'm having a good time. Maybe some people, maybe there'll be some more donations and I have to pop another bean and get unlucky. But until then, I'm living that life. All right, everybody. Thank you very much again. It's been incredible. We have 15 more days of this. Last thing I wanted to say about the St. Jude Play Live stuff, and this is very, very important, is that this money is full pass-through to St. Jude. When you donate to the Tiltify link, yes, none of it comes to STARJUMP. We don't touch it. We don't control it. It doesn't go into anything that we can manipulate it. When you donate to Tiltify, you know you're donating with confidence. Tiltify then pushes that money directly to St. Jude. We do not touch it in any way, shape, or form. Okay?
We don't see any of it. We don't want to see any of it. We don't.
Wait a minute. Kairu says, real suspiciously lucky, as if I filled the container with licorice beans.
I got to tell you,
I would never do that.
Grim has had luck that I haven't seen.
Some pretty good luck
since starting this 3 years ago. I haven't gotten more than. In fact, this year is the most good beans I've gotten.
Blurry Pixel just donated $25. Thank you, Blurry. Blurry also has donated a lot and won. I think Blurry won something, right?
I'd have to go back through our.
You don't have to, but I think
Blurry, won something. Or you just say yes or no.
I'll just say though, these beans are hard to get down, even when they taste good.
I got a Carolina Reaper bean here. I'm gonna throw a challenge down. I will eat
anything in my teeth.
I'm gonna fuck myself over this one, but fuck it. If we can raise an additional $460, so if we get a 17.5 tonight, I will eat all 5 of the shit flavored.
Oh my gosh!
Here,
oh boy!
I'll eat one of each. If we can raise $500, so I've already got. See. I'm gonna start with Sriracha. I'm gonna have them all out.
Have them all out. Get yourself prepared.
You go ahead and start this this party.
It Kairu just donated $50 with a thanks for the beans and unlocking an art supply kit for. Oh my goodness! Play-Doh just donated $500. Oh my god! Play-Doh, and Itu Kairu. Giving you the double salute here. Giving you the double salute. Plato just kicked the door down, by the way. He said, eat all that and destroy your bowels.
You've spoken.
Destroy your bowels.
And now you're going to absolutely fucking reap the benefits, aren't you?
Plato, thank you very much. That is extremely generous. Thank you very much for that. E2 Kairu, thank you for that $50 donation. We are happy to do it, by the way. And everyone, we are going to get to the conversation tonight. We got a lot to discuss. Don't worry. We're going to have a good time tonight.
Let's start this conversation because this is going to take a while. All right.
Guardian says his beehole will never recover from this.
There's a lot that's not recovering from this
Saku Guru with a $15 donation towards the misfortune with sunspot paint. Saku, thank you very much. Salute to you all. We had an incredible amount of donations already tonight, everybody. We're so happy. Thank you. Again, remember, this money is going to sick kids and their families, okay, suffering through cancer. And one important thing to note is that when they're staying at St. Jude, they do not pay a dime. There's no hospital bill that goes to them. That is fueled. That is because of these donations. So thank you very much. Okay, Plato says, in all fairness, he was clicking buttons before Ender said that. I'm just saying it was the perfect amount of money to ruin Ender's butthole. Okay, I'm just saying. Just putting that out there. Plato, I'm just saying. All right. We are going to get to some talk here why Ender preps his bean. Well, real quick, before we move on, Ender, how are you doing the beans? Are you just going to eat one every 5 minutes?
Yeah, I think maybe I'll just do one every couple of minutes, starting from the lowest, moving on my way up. Can you do me a favor? Can you have my double salute prep too?
I don't, and I don't have mine prepped actually.
Oh man,
I don't. No, I do not have this prepped.
Let's do the double salute. But
I know we'll get that ready for next show. We'll get that
prepared for this.
I'm slightly unprepared, but we will have that for next show for sure. E2 Kairu says, I figured since I donate some since I missed the Idris today. Kairu, sorry about that. I guess you were trying to get one. Don't worry, you can always be crew member on mine anytime. All right, everybody. Here's the way this is going to work. We're going to dive into the Invictus launch week news today. As we're doing that, about every few minutes, Ender's going to pop one of those beans in his mouth, and I'm going to continue to pepper him with annoying questions about inane things or asinine things that he must eat while eating these beans. Now, Ender, it goes from Sriracha all the way up to Carolina Reaper, correct?
Yes, that's accurate. I just want to make sure I've got all the correct beans here.
Gotcha.
Okay. That one and that one. Yeah, we got all the right ones.
All right. Once you pop the first one, we'll start the news for today.
All right. So it goes Sriracha first.
Mm-hmm.
Jalapeno. Cayenne.
I believe you mean jalapeno.
Jalapeno, you are correct.
Yes.
Jalapeno, cayenne.
By the way, Ender, I just want to point out we are now officially at $34,048 raised lifetime.
Jesus. Wow.
Incredible. Thank you, everyone.
Man. I got to tell you, this community.
Plato, thank you for that. Just incredible donation. Everyone else who's donated tonight, too, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We do this because of you all and how amazing you all are. So thank you. Ender?
Intro, thank you for the reminder. I'm going to go ahead and take a Nexium for heartburn.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have to work tomorrow?
No.
Oh,
well,
good.
Yes and no. I go in the morning.
Okay. Good Lord! Look at that jug! Look at that jug you got. That's like an water. That's like an old drum like jug that you drink like moonshine out of, only at the modern version.
This is my shine right here, boss. And I got my cystoscopy tomorrow, so we get to find out if I'm still cancer free.
Good.
In the worst possible way.
Macobus just donated $50 towards art supplies and the Emerald character.
Let's get it started.
Ender, down it. Macobus, thank you for that incredible donation. All right, there we go. Graham, Ender's got the first one down. Here we go. We're moving over, everybody. We're talking about Invictus launch week 2955. We all knew it was coming. It landed today. It started today. And today was all about Aegis Dynamics and Greycat Industrial, okay? We're going to go through the offerings of each one of these, but before we do that, there's a few things I wanted to go over. The first one is the referral bonus that came along with Invictus this year. It is a P-52 Merlin, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't mind getting one of these as a referral bonus, but unfortunately, since it is a referral, I'll never get it because I just don't get these damn things.
No, you really don't.
Yeah. So I really don't, but it is kind of a cool referral bonus. So yeah, there it is. If you ever put your code out there to new players coming in, it's you can get one of these. So next, I did want to go over real quick. Well, you know what? We'll go into it when we get into the Idris, but I wanted to go over that real quick. Let's go ahead and first, though, talk about Greycat, okay? Because this is the quick and easy one. I don't think we need to stay a long time on this, okay?
Not a ton to talk about on this one.
Not a ton to talk about on this one. They did come out with a new drivable vehicle, the MTC, or Mobile Tactical Center. Let's go ahead and scroll down here. It says, the grounded approach, putting function over form as always, Greycat presents the MTC, your stalwart ally in planetary operations, with the goal of creating the most dependable four-wheeled soldier in your troop. Greycat has designed the MTC with comprehensive suit and gun storage, defensive weaponry, and its customary off-road abilities. What this is, everyone... Go ahead.
Sorry, the choice of suits that they put in that is interesting considering what this thing is.
I would agree. I didn't notice that first. I guess the one on the right looks combat focused. The other one on the left
one on
looks
the right is
exploration
not
focused.
bad.
Yeah.
But that left one is definitely exploration focused.
Essentially, everyone, this is a mobile armory, okay? This is a mobile armory. And by the way, everybody, I have seen the messages in chat regarding the blades for real dollars. We are going to talk all about that. Don't worry. We've got a full section towards the end of the show. We're going to break all that down. So VG says, question, functional suit lockers in the MTC? Not functionable yet, but functionally coming. And I'll explain that in just a minute. But essentially what this vehicle is it's a mobile armory, everybody. It carries some cargo. It carries some guns. It carries suits. This is what I predicted this vehicle was going to be, nothing more, nothing less. Okay, it is 7 meters long, so it is pretty small. Comes in a wide variety of paints. The paints look pretty cool. I would have loved some more decaling on this personally, but it's so decals aside, though, it looks pretty cool. I love the design of the vehicle itself. The dollar-wise, though, it's $45 war bond and $50 with credit. Before we go into our opinions on this, I'll go ahead and say one thing. For those of you that are maybe new to Star Citizen or have never really heard on how suit lockers are going to work, there's two important things to know about suit lockers because they will be a big plus at some point, okay? Here's the first point. In the future, you are not going to be able to sit in the pilot or drivable seats of certain vehicles or vehicles with certain suits on, specifically like heavy armor suits and stuff. You won't be able to fly ships with those heavy armors on, okay? The idea is that you will have to fly in a flight suit or something like that. The other important thing to know about suit lockers is that the idea behind them is that when you think of it less as a suit locker and more of a loadout locker. When you put a loadout in there, so it could be helmet, undersuit, armor, it possibly could even mean weapons, we'll have to see, but what you're going to be able to do is go up to that suit locker and literally just hit equip, and it will do a full switch of your gear instantly. You're not going to have to play the inventory game. That is why suit lockers will play an important role in the future. And that's why they put them on the entryways and exits of a lot of ships. Because the idea is you're going to get out of your pilot seat or your engineer seat where you're wearing your undersuit. You're going to walk towards the airlock to go out on the planetary surface. You're going to click on the suit locker, real quick switch of the gear with a one-button press, and then your exterior of the ship doing your thing. That being said, Ender, we'll give it to you first. Any thoughts on the MTC? I know you haven't been like totally following all the stuff surrounding Star Citizen over the last few weeks, but you know a little bit about this one. What's your thoughts?
Yeah. It's cool. It's not I don't know, when the game's fully implemented and you've got the issue of, well, I've got to store my suit. This is essentially a vehicle that you can store your suit in. And I think that's kind of what they wanted it to be, because pretty soon you're not going to be able to drive some of your vehicles.
Yeah.
on the planet's surface unless you have a place to store a suit. I think that's why they're doing this. I think this is what's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe soon.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard to fully understand some of the ground vehicle stuff in general right now without a couple things in place, without actor status tier 2, without the weather hazards we know are coming. We do have like temperature hazards right now on planetary surfaces, but we don't have even like the other hazards. So for example, maybe you need to take a few different kind of suits because there's different type of environments. So for example,
Right.
maybe you're driving along the planetary surface and you want your combat armor, but then maybe there's a cave you're going to go into that's acidic and has toxic fumes in it, so you need to take a environmental suit too. And I see Ender downing those hot beans right now, by the way. But you need to take that suit that, in a suit locker that's also capable of doing the extreme environment of the cave again. So I do see a future usage there. I think that stuff is going to be a little controversial when it happens, because I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are sort of annoyed that they have to go in and out of different types of suits. But for me personally, I am excited for that because I do want more survival gameplay elements in Star Citizen. That being said, everyone knows I get pretty excited about ships and vehicles, but I gotta say, this one just doesn't excite me. I love the look and design of it. CIG ship team, you killed it. If any of you are watching, I love the look of it. It's the role that just doesn't connect with me. If this was a different, hell, honestly, if it was just a little vehicle that could carry 4 to 5 people, I'd be all over it probably. But it doesn't do that. It carries 2. If it was just a group for you and your small friends to move around in that you wanted to be able to carry like 3 or 4 people in, that'd be perfect. Or if it was a medical variant, that'd be interesting. It's just as it currently stands, it doesn't do much for me. So,
No, I agree.
Yeah. And with that, obviously, Greycat Industrial, I'm going to switch over to that page. If it'll load, will it load? Let's see. Yeah. That is the only thing on offer. So it's pretty light for the Greycat manufacturer brand. But I will come down here. This is something kind of interesting, are these patch bundles. Currently focused on the Vanguard series, and there's some really wild paints with some matching armor and matching guns. And boy, are these paints crazy. First one is True Valor, and then there's Clawed Steel and New Dawn.
Wow.
Here's what I'm going to say about these. They seem a little Fortnite-y in their design for my taste in this game. However, I will say this, and this is a tip of the hat to CIG. If you're going to sell paints, they should be paints that are really interesting like these. Not paints that are just red or, you know what I mean? Like, if CIG is going to sell paints, I think they should be paints with patterns.
Make them interesting.
Yeah, make them interesting. Sure. It should be a paint with a pattern. So, for example, the camo patterns, or any like these tiger stripe patterns or stuff like that, I think is great for CIG to sell as a thing. Leave the solid colors to us as players. Because in the past, CIG's done that, where they've just done solid colors. I've never been a big fan of that. So,
it is still interesting to me to see them send out. I do like that orange, though. Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's nice. I almost wish I had.
I love the paints. I just wish. Here's my issue. I wish these paints were on more ships, though. Limited to the Vanguard. You know what's funny is these type of paints, these kind of wild paints, if I was going to put them on a ship, they feel more appropriate for light fighters to me, like Gladiuses, Arrows, stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know if I'm in the minority there, but I feel like if you're going to have kind of a wild paint, that it belongs on like a light fighter.
It belongs on something that is going to be moving fast.
It just on the bigger ships,
somewhat hard, and doing. But you're right. On the larger ships, it's like, all right, yeah, this is nice, but
yeah, and it's
quick until it gets blown up.
It's a subjective thing, everyone. Here's the thing: I do like the paints. To me, they also kind of remind me of old like stuff from the '80s, like So, like I don't know if anyone remembers Mask or just some of those wild things, or even Transformers, just some of the wilder paint jobs and stuff. I'm all for it. I'm fine if CIG puts them in as a cool thing. I know some people were against it, saying it kind of break immersion. It doesn't break immersion to me. They're just kind of wild paints. I mean, we have graffiti paints in game and other stuff, but so you know,
and not only that, but I mean, first of all, Star Kitty.
yeah, Star Kitten, yeah, for sure. That's a good point.
But also, you also have pilots who are civilians now.
Yeah.
Who will paint their ships. I mean, as a civilian, if I were a pilot, I'd want to paint my stuff to look kind of cool too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, and
I tell you that orange is just.
Yeah, and you do get quite a bit for it. For example, it comes with actually a really cool gun. You get the Vanguard paint, the New Dawn paint. You get the New Dawn version of that new Quartz Energy SMG, so the one that I think shoots the beams and shit. You get the whole DCP armor set in the New Dawn paint scheme, which is cool. I really like that. I think that's cool to have everything matching like that. They feel a little bit like you're getting something. And so that's pretty cool. I like it. I just wish there was more ship options with some of these paints, I guess is my biggest thing. So
Bingo brings up a good question, Grim.
What's Bingo bring up?
Mask. Do you mean the one with Cher or Jim Carrey?
Neither. I bring up the cartoon from the 80s that obviously I am apparently older than y'all. I didn't know I was older than Bingo, but there's a cartoon from the 80s called MASK, like with the dots in between the letters, M.A. Mask.
No, I remember.
And it was a really, really cool show. And there you go. Anyway, patch bundles. One of the many things on offer for real money. There's other things too. We'll talk about that later. Don't worry. We're getting to it, everybody. I know it's a topic everyone wants to talk about. But
yeah, we know.
There it is, the Greycat MTC. So we're going to move off that. Interesting vehicle, not for me. It is the LTI token this year. Does it come with LTI, actually? Is that even a thing? I assume it does, right? Yeah, LTI. Okay.
Yeah,
it's your LTI token this year. Okay, now we're moving to the big one. The big one that I was predicting, and I'm glad I was right.
More expensive LTI token than we had last
year. That's true.
If I'm not mistaken.
That is true.
I was a little surprised by that.
Yeah. That's true. It's time to talk about the big one, everybody. The Idris has landed in the PU. This is a big deal. And I would like to talk a little bit about this for a minute.
A bit.
Yeah. Here's the thing with the Idris landing. Whether you're a fan of the Idris, not a fan of it, not into capital ships, whatever. This is a good thing whenever the ship team can check off a big monster backlog ship off the list. And that's what this is. And that's for a couple reasons. One, people have already paid a hell of a lot of money for this. So if it's done and ready, as we've said before, it should go to the backers. If it's not done, fine. But if it's done and ready, it should go to the backers. Two, if we're going to have this future game where we can have bases that are sprawling and we're going to have monster capital ships like the Pioneer landing and building space stations, then we need to start testing the server for capital ship gameplay. Not only combat, but just in being able to handle these big ships with their complex interiors, right?
I'm listening.
Yeah, no worries. So that's important. Karsten says, Grim, are you okay spending another $3,000 on your Javelin to keep it updated with kits, paints, and blades? Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because I mean that's an interesting point. I don't think you're going to be required to do any of that personally. I think you can earn everything in game, as it has been stated. It's really about where do you want your time sink to be and what is your gameplay loop, and we're going to get to that. We are going to get to that. But here it is, everybody, the idris-p, the Idris Peacekeeper, the first variant, the primary variant, as one would say. There was a Behind the Ships episode on it. We're not going to watch that tonight because it's about 9 minutes long, but if you haven't seen it, go check it out. We actually got to hear from Nathan Dearsley again, which has been a little while since we've heard from him. He is the art director for Squadron 42 and had a big role to play in both the Idris and the Javelin and the Bengal and some of those big monster ships. The last time I think we've even really heard him talking about ships was the Big Guns of the UEE video. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Starlet in chat. Starlet, hope you're well. Salute to you. So it is nice to see Nathan Dearsley in a video again. I assumed we were going to hear from him regarding the Idris release because he's been pretty close to that one. So go watch that video, though. It's really interesting to see. But again, Aegis Idris finally landing in the verse. That includes both the M variant and the Peacekeeper variant. So both variants coming. As you all know, the M variant comes with the size 10 mass driver, which is the railgun. It's the real name of the railgun, the mass driver. The ship comes with an impressive armament, by the way, 1326 SCUs, so carries a lot of cargo. This is the P variant. We're back on that one. There's a lot of really cool paints for the ship, including this really cool shark tooth one that everyone's loving, and it does look pretty sweet. Including some camo versions, the Beachhead, Marauder, Nightbreak, Factory Standard, all the paints. There are different ways of getting these. We're going to talk about that here for a minute. Ender, are you currently sweating from the beans, by the way?
Not yet, but
not yet.
Thanks for the reminder. Time to put another one in.
Yes. All right. Let's get to the first big thing, everybody, that has sort of been, you know, on everyone's, you know, the discussion topics going around. So we all knew about the idris-K kit. It is a weapons upgrade kit. It's been around forever. It's only on the store if you had purchased an idris-p. If you purchased an idris-p, then it would show up in the store as a K kit, a weapon upgrade offering. It's not a variant of the ship, as was made very clear today on Behind the Ships. It is a weapons package for the P. Okay.
Yep.
The big standout feature with the K kit, though, is its size 10 Hurston Dynamics Exodus laser beam weapon. I'm just going to say, please bring more laser beam weapons to the game because, oh my God, is this thing amazing. When I checked out the Idris today and fired that thing off, the sound it makes and its prolonged amount of sustained fire, you can just keep that beam going. I had it going for, I swear it was 30, 40 seconds. Just a sustained size 10 devastating beam. If a small ship flies in front of it and gets in the beam for literally a second and a half, it explodes. Bigger ships like the Hammerhead and stuff can last a lot longer. They can last, you know, a good 15 seconds or so, but that beam is devastating. To me, it's way cooler than the mass driver. Like, I'm actually glad. I think you can put that on the Idris M, but yeah, the beam weapons are where it's at. I hope we get more beam weapons for more ships, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, let's see who that 9-5 in chat says something interesting. Should the Ares Ion be a beam now? Yes, it should. If they made the Ares Ion to a beam ship, I'd buy it immediately.
But I think it should be a lower sustain and obviously a lot less power. But
yeah, size 7 beam weapon.
But I do think it should be.
Charlie McAwesome said you can hold it for 60 seconds. Maybe I think I only held it for 30. But then I just let go of the button. But 60 seconds sustained beam is crazy. Crazy. The K kit also comes with a variety of other things, by the way. I will scroll down and show you all. The K kit comes with the Exodus laser beam, of course, the Ammon and Reese Harrow anti-ship missile turrets, a big missile turret for the top mount, a whole bunch of bearing PDSs, as well as some blank PDC mounts. It comes with the Marauder paint, so that is that dark steel kind of paint job, and comes with some Invictus clothing. So that is $250 war bond. This is the same price it's always been on the store. It's always been $250 war bond and $300 credit. Okay. Yep. Now we're going to go to the next kit, the one none of us knew about until it leaked about a day before, and that is the idris-T kit, which is a torpedo spinal mount. And this is where it gets really interesting. This thing can hold 20 size 12 torpedoes. I want to let that everyone let that sink in for a minute. 20 size 12 torpedoes. Now, that's starting to get to like Javelin level of torpedo throughput. I think the Javelin does carry a few more, but it does also carry size 12. Go ahead, Ender.
I just want to let everybody take that in for a second. You get a K and a T together.
Yeah.
And you've got a pretty unstoppable force.
If it's properly piloted, if you've got crews in both ships, yes. Yeah, you got a pretty devastating combo.
You have got a devastating combo that will.
Yeah. Now, torpedoes, anyone who's done torpedo gameplay, me and Ender have actually in the Polaris. Torpedoes are a little hit and miss right now on their performance. They're stupid slow. A little too slow, in my opinion, to be quite honest with you. Torpedoes are supposed to be slow, but they're a little too slow for the distances, in my opinion. But they are these size 12 torps. They are going to be devastatingly slow. The only thing is if one makes contact with you, that's going to be bad.
That's a wrap. You're dead in the water.
Yeah, I don't totally know what the damage output on them are, but I do know, unless they've changed it, when it's possible they've changed it. I thought I remember seeing that the size 10 torpedoes are actually like 3 times more powerful than the size 9s. There's actually like a big jump there. I'm not sure if there's the same jump with the 12s, but I would have to guess there is. Now, let's go to the big thing with this one. What comes in the T-kit? Well, you get the HMF T12 Hammerfall torpedo launcher. You also get the IFR BC7 turret. Now, this is really interesting too. This is a ballistic dual size 7 nose-mounted turret. Devastating weapon, okay? Keep that in mind. That's originally what the Perseus was sort of supposed to have on it. Now, the Perseus has been officially upgraded, by the way. We've learned about that. It's going to have 2 dual size 8 Marauder cannons on it. So if you Perseus owners got an upgunned Perseus, which is pretty cool. But this thing comes with a whole bunch of PBB, which are the Pepper Box missile PDS turrets, as well as the Nightbreak paint. So a different paint there. Now here's the thing. This, was it Medusa? What did I say? Did I say Medusa? I forget what I said.
You said Marauder?
Marauder. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's Medusa. It's the Medusa cannon, I believe. Here's the thing. The idris-p kit is $350 war bond and $420 credit for a weapons kit. That's expensive. That's starting to get to like, oh boy, that's pricey. But in the same vein, I go, well, it is size 12 torpedoes, and you get to this place where you're like, do they have to start charging that premium to offset the impact that can have on game, I want to say gameplay, but the universe, right? Because remember, we got the Hathor thing coming in. Think of Jumptown. What's going to happen when we have size 12 torpedoes raining down on Jumptown, right? Which we already got the size 10 Moabs, of course, but this is bringing a whole nother level of firepower into the game, and I think CIG is gating it a little bit with that price point. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would at least like to agree with it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're thinking, but
well, these are new, and it'll be interesting to see how it balances. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see.
Dano says limit demand. Well, you can't limit the demand. I think you mean limit supply rather than demand. But
yeah, I guess one could argue it's doing a little bit of both. I guess some people would not be as excited about it with, they say, the price. Maybe, I don't know, but I see what you're both saying.
Yeah.
It's a hefty price, and if you are, and I know someone said it earlier when regards to the Javelin, saying, hey, if you own a $3,000 Javelin, are you prepared to then pay the extra $1,000 when it goes flight ready for whatever kits are going to come with it? And you're not wrong. You're not wrong. This is a real thing we have to consider now with these ships, is that, like, especially on these monster capitals, where we knew there was going to be some customability to them, we have to start asking the question of, like, okay, and this is a good opportunity here to look at the Idris price, because it did go up a little bit. War bond price $1,500. It was $1,300. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong on that. And the idris-p credit price is $1,900 now. It was $1,500, I think. So significant price increases. We knew that was occurring, by the way. We all knew that when the Idris went flight ready, it was going to go up. The Kraken's going to do the same. The Pioneer's going to do the same. All those big ships, when they go flight ready, they are going up just like the small ones do.
This was a whole limited ship, right?
It's a whole limited, and still is. Still is.
It still is.
Yeah.
And yet, am I seeing this right? As a concierge, we can. Oh, it's sold out. I see now.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to bring
it's
this
still
up.
Whole limited, which I do find interesting. I like that they are whole limiting it.
I'm going to bring this up. Now, here's what they did do. This was a little surprising. Instead of doing the normal 3 waves, they are now doing 6 waves for the Idris to give more people more opportunity to buy it. So wave 1 and 2 have already happened. Wave 3 will be 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And then there'll be 3 more waves after that. And this is all Eastern time zones right here, by the way, everybody. So you need to adjust that for your own time. There'll be 1 at noon, 1 at 8 p.m. tomorrow, and then 1 at 4 p.m. the next day. Okay. So 6 waves, 6 chances to get your Idris. I had a lot of people message me today saying, it's sold out before I could even get it. Wave 1 is almost impossible to get, by the way. Okay.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, it's, especially if you're getting with credit. Matter of fact, if you're getting with credit, I think the first 3 or 4 waves you can go ahead and say you're not going to get. But what you should try to do is try to get them in your cart. Oh, Quinn says waves 4, 5, and 6 are for concierge only. Okay, so if you're concierge, 4, 5, and 6 are up into you. But regardless, if you can get it in your cart, keep it in your cart, because when the next wave happens, you don't need to even go to the ship page. You just go to your cart and you can buy it. Okay. So let's go back to the prices here. So let's say if you were to get an Idris now for War Bond, let's stick with War Bond. Let's stick with new money for a minute. $1,500. And let's say if you wanted both the K and the T kit, okay, that is another, what, $500, $600. So add that $600 to the $1,500 you've already spent, and now we're talking $2,100 for the idris-p. So if you wanted the full idris-p experience with all the weapons kits, you're now looking at a $2,100 investment. And this goes into something that I think we can talk about for a minute. And that is, are ships in Star Citizen overpriced? And I think it's a complicated answer because, for one, overpriced means different things to different people. $50 can be expensive for someone. $500 can be expensive to someone. $5,000 can be expensive to someone. We really don't know. There's different people at different income levels, all around, all in the Star Citizen community. So, but let's not base it off that. Let's base it off ships being $50, $100, $240. I just melted my Mark II Super Hornet today, and I forgot that thing
disappointed.
$240 is the credit I got back for that. I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, this ship has cost that much. By the way, I melted it because I think I am going to go back to the Scorpius in terms of a 2-person. But anyway,
I have both.
If only. But that's the question. Are ship prices too expensive? I'd like to get your take in there. I'm going to say one point about it first, though, from me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is, like it or not, and I'm not sticking up for CIG. I think they have made some bad decisions. They've made some good decisions, some bad decisions. Okay. But bottom line, the money that we're spending on this game, the fact that things are more expensive than they really should be, is because we are directly funding development. So it's not really a good comparison to compare it to like other games and how much things cost in other games. It's just not. And if you want it to be, this is probably the wrong game for you. It's a self-funded game. There is no publisher. And again, there's good parts to that and bad parts to that. But that is the situation we're in, right? So for me, personally, I'm okay with the price. Would I want them to be cheaper? Well, duh, of course. I want the ships to be a lot cheaper. I wish the Idris was $300, to be quite honest with you. But if you're asking me now, are the prices what they are they fair? Sure. Because I always go back to this one thing, and then Ender, I'll get your point on this. All of this, and CIG just reaffirmed this recently, all of this will be earnable in game. They even said that you will be able to earn the Idris-M in game, a ship that you can't buy right now. They said you will be able to earn it in game through reputation grinds, through the 1.0 gameplay loops. There is nothing that you're buying with real money that people will not be able to earn in game, and I guarantee you some of them will be able to earn it fast. And let me go ahead and give you an example of that. People are getting Wicklow Polarises already. There's people getting those. They're essentially getting a $950 ship by doing in-game stuff, right?
Yep.
Now imagine when we're 1.0 and that stuff is permanent, right? So Ender, what's your thought on ship prices? How do you feel about them?
I'm going to take two stances here.
Okay.
First, I'm going to address a couple of things that were said while you were talking.
Okay.
One, somebody said, "Oof, White Knight stance right there."
Tibbles just donated $30, by the way. Thank you, Tibbles. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tibbles.
Salute to you, buddy.
We do get accused of white knighting more often than we actually do.
Yeah, sometimes.
In fact, stick around. I think you're going to hear a little less white knighting than you expect tonight.
Yeah. We actually complain about the game a lot, though. If you follow our content, there's a lot of things we disagree with. The medical system and many other things, but we continue, Ender. Sorry.
Yeah, nope, you're fine. But also to call us saying that we're funding the game, the White Knight stance, we're stating a fact. This game needs funding.
If you want it to be a game, it does.
Nowhere near. Yeah. Look, Grim, you know the numbers better than I do. Actually, probably as well as I do. But GTA 6, what it cost?
The current figure being tallied around right now is $1.5 billion.
Perfect. Listen to what they built this off of. They built it off of something that was already there.
Yeah.
GTA is a known publisher with a game that they built this onto, and it still took them, 13 years, 16 years?
I was told 13? By my friend that works at Rockstar, I've been told they started working on it from the writing standpoint in 2013, and 2014 is when they really started.
Jacob. Here's why it's comparing two things that are the same. They were building two games at one time, an online game and an offline game.
Yep. Single player game and a multiplayer game. Yep.
The only thing that makes them different is Star Citizen is literally building this in a small studio.
Compared to GTA or compared to Rockstar, it's small.
Yep. Definitely compared to Rockstar. 1.8, I think you said.
1.5 is what I've heard from trusted sources. 1.5 billion. Yeah.
Billion with a B there, Karsten. And also, Star Citizen is literally using unbuilt, untested stuff that they had to build themselves.
Yeah.
So to call us white knighting for saying this needs funding.
Also double the developers.
Pissed off, and I get it.
Rockstar has double the amount of developers as Cloud Imperium. Now there is some similarities there. Rockstar, just so everyone knows, it's not just GTA 6 that's coming. They're also coming out with the next version of Grand Theft Auto Online. They're developing it in situ with GTA 6. So where I'm going with this is there is a lot of similarities between the two in terms of the products they're putting forward.
There's a reason I mentioned it.
Yeah,
it's because they are very similar. Now,
I just saw someone complain
GTA is sub 100. You're wrong. It didn't cost less than 100 billion to make that game. Now,
less than 100 million.
100 dollars? No, he's saying sub $100.
Oh.
You're correct. It is sub $100, but they also didn't need us to pay for the game.
Yeah, Take-Two publishes the game. They have a publisher, so it's very different.
We're literally building this game. We're paying to build this game. Now, that said, if you don't want to put the money in, don't put the money in, guys.
Yeah, remember,
everything is earnable in game.
Star Citizen,
$40 is all you need for this game.
That's all you need. $45. As a matter of fact, a lot of people do content off Zero to Hero using starter packs.
Yep.
It's a big thing. You absolutely can do it. And
the other thing that I want to address.
Yeah, go ahead.
People have actually said some really smart stuff in here. There are people who spend way more on alcohol, trips, concerts, going to Vegas once a year. which is pretty much, Grim, you used to go to Vegas.
I used to go to Vegas once a year, every year. Yep.
This replaced your Vegas trips.
Yeah, I spent about
Atlantic City. Yeah. Hell, drugs. Look, people can spend money on what they want to spend money on.
Yep.
Let's not get pissed off at people for going, hey, I want to spend money on this, and let's not be pissed off at everyone.
Yep.
At CIG for trying to build this game.
Yeah.
Do I think that they do some things that are underhanded and fucked up? Yeah. Do I think that the ship prices are part of that? No, I'll be honest with you. I don't think they are, because I want this game to be what I expect it to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a hell of a lot of money to do that. And if you're willing to put the money in, do it. And if somebody else is willing to put the money in, let them do it.
Yeah.
And if you're not, don't.
Yeah, Mako Bus in chat says the difference is that Rockstar will pay the money back to the publisher. That's true. They'll if it's anything like GTA 5. Remember, GTA 5 I think made $1 billion in like 3 days or something when it went on sale.
Mm-hmm.
However, Rockstar is not immune from controversy either. Need we go into that?
Shark guards.
Here's what we're saying. We're not defending CIG with this. We're just really putting it into perspective. Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto Online, or Grand Theft Auto 6 and the next Grand Theft Auto, been in development for a long-ass time. Not quite as long as Star System, but a long-ass time. One is a multiplayer product, one is a single-player product. They have twice the amount of developers, and the budget is damn near twice as high. I'm just saying there's some correlations there that you can draw. Now, does that mean CIG has been raising money the right way every time? No, we are going to get to that. There's some controversy coming, don't worry. But I was watching Salty Mike's stream today, and he was pretty salty about the Flight Blade thing, and we'll get to that. But where I'm going with this first is he said, and I hear this a lot from people, and I actually fundamentally disagree with it, and hopefully you all in chat understand what I'm trying to say. But one of the things Salty said, and I've heard a lot of people say this, not calling Salty out in any way, but he said that, the decisions in this game is being developed by the marketing team. All this dollar stuff we see, the Idris costing $1,900, Flight Blades being sold for real money, this is not the marketing team. I promise you, the $100,000 a year senior marketing person at CIG is not making the decisions. These are leadership decisions at CIG, and the leadership is telling the marketing team what to do. Okay, I promise you, marketing teams, and I work in marketing. I've worked in marketing for 20 years, 25 years actually of this year. We do not make the prices up. We just market it based off the price we're told by the business leaders. If you have any issues with how this game is funded, what things are offered on the pledge sale, how much things cost, that is a leadership thing. That is a CIG leadership, the bean counters, whoever is making those decisions. That is not the marketing team. Marketing is different than coming up with prices for everything, by the way. I've worked in marketing for 25 years. I've worked on full feature films. I've worked on games. I've worked on broadcasts, everything. I have never been the one to decide anything. Marketing does not have anything. Our idea is to sell you on it, but we don't set the price. If it was a lemonade stand, we design the sign for the lemonade stand, and we might choose which cups that it's poured into, but we did not set the price. That's not what marketers do. So again, it's not marketing that's making these decisions, it's leadership. So if you have concerns or problems with it, voice that constructively. Do constructive criticism, say you have an issue with it, and maybe leadership will make changes, or don't put money in, and maybe leadership will make changes. So
I promise you, constructive criticism
goes a long way.
Gets you further than exploding and being pissed off and just, why did you do it? The shit that we see on Spectrum is not the way to go about this 95% of the time.
Yeah.
That 5% that take their time to write out a good explanative write-up of why they think this is wrong.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that should be upvoted, but nobody upvotes those.
Yeah.
And very few people pay attention to those because they're too calm, they're too well written, and people just go, you're white knighting, you're not actually complaining. When in fact they are complaining the right way.
Yeah.
The way that gets it done, the way that gets people to actually pay attention to what you have to say is not by blowing up and being angry. It's by literally going,
Yeah.
hey, let's do this.
Yeah. And here's the thing, for those of you in chat where the prices of things and how the fundraising for this game works, that it doesn't bother you, that's great. It doesn't bother you. Thank you only just for that follow. Appreciate it. I sit somewhere in the middle. Some of the things I'm totally fine with. There's other things they sell that I don't like that they sell, right? There's other things I wish they sold more of as microtransactions. I could be split. If you're one of those people though that's like, you know, if I don't like what they're doing here, this is ruining the game, it's pay to win, whatever, you're
Right.
in your rights to think that too, and voice it in a constructive, creative way, or sorry, a constructive criticism type of way. And you know, people do at CIG do read that stuff, and we've seen in the past that they have taken the temperature on those things in reverse course. Okay, not always, but sometimes.
Yep.
So while we're on to this, it's probably good to move on to the next big topic. I'm going to flip right over to it here, and that is the flight blades. Okay, what are flight blades? There's currently two types: PHB, which stands for Precision Handling Balanced, and the TSB flight blades, which is Top Speed Balanced. And they apply to several different ships: the Aegis Gladius series, the Avenger series, the Aegis Redeemer, the RSI Scorpius series, the MPUV series, the Anvil Arrow, the Anvil Pisces series, and the Aegis Hammerhead. Now, let's go over to the add-ons thing. And you'll see here, all in the add-on section of the website, all the stuff is listed. So you can buy a flight blade kit for both Warbond and credit for all those different ships. Okay. So for the Gladius, let's just use that one as an example. The Flight Blades Warbond are $50. You get two of them. You get both the speed and balance and the maneuverable one. And for credit, it's $18. Now, the controversy is that by being able to buy these, someone can make their Gladius a little bit better than someone else's Gladius, and then that is pay to win. Now, there's a valid argument to be made there. And before we go any further, Ender, where are you up to in your beans? You look to be smiling, and we didn't expect smiles at this point.
Stop. I'm so mad. I want to get into this. Fine, I'll get my last bean in there.
Pop a bean in and start sweating. Okay, we're going to build up that temperature in Ender, everybody. That's what we're trying to do right now, everybody.
This is the Carolina Reaper, by the way.
This is the Carolina Reaper. He's going to be crying out of his anus here shortly. So the issue is, should you be able to buy a blade that will positively affect your ship? Now, I think me and Ender are going to kind of come at this from two directions. A very much against it direction, and then one that's a little bit more in the middle. I can't be totally for it. I'm a little bit in the middle. I've got some varying opinions on it. Ender, who would you like to go first? Do you need a minute and I'll go first? And then you can go, then you can destroy it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's hear yours so that I can absolutely shit all over it. Let's do that.
Yeah. And everyone, we're going to keep it respectful, by the way. This is a respectful debate.
It will be respectful.
So here's my official position. I actually
keep the chat respectful, people.
Yeah, I actually wish they weren't sold. I wish you did have to earn them in game, and eventually they will be craftable when we have crafting in. Okay, and I think that's of course how it will be when we get crafting and stuff, and they are going to come to the game. The CIG's already said that after 3 months they're going to be available in the game. Okay, so let's put that aside. I do think they should be earnable in game and craftable. I don't think they should be buyable with dollars. But now let me play devil's advocate a little bit. There's a couple points to be made about these blades that people might not be totally grasping. Okay, let's take for example the which one's that called, the TSB blade, right? The top speed balanced blade. Okay, that is supposed to salute to you, hope you're well. That blade is supposed to make you faster on a straight line, right? So from just A to B, straight lining it, you will be faster. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how by much, but you'll be faster than another Gladius. However, this is what a lot of people seem to be missing out on. While it makes you faster, it's actually going to punish you a little bit on your maneuverability. You actually get pulled back a little bit on maneuverability. If you choose the blade that makes you a lot more maneuverable, your yaw, roll, all that stuff, it will make you more maneuverable, but you actually won't have as fast top speed as the other Gladius. So it's a trade-off. It's pushing one while pulling back another, right? Now,
Sure.
so I wouldn't say it's a complete, even just from that fact alone, I don't think it's a complete pay to win, because it's more of a customization and not a guaranteed win. Because let's say you go up against, let's say you put that top speed blade in there, and then you go up against a dogfighter who's really just wants to strafe orbit you and is using maneuverability, and then that becomes your Achilles heel and it's actually a weakness. So let me put that aside. Here's another thing I want to point out. And I know this is the one I'll get the most hate for, though. So I'm going to say it. Right now, I'm assuming people are upset about the pay to win factor because of the game right now, right? Because in the future, in 1.0, we're going to be able to craft these, earn them, whatever, buy them in the in-game store, whatever. So what people are most bad about is that real money can make you win or be better right now. However, right now, this game is dictated by constant metas, and those metas are constantly changing. Okay, 1 month it's this ship, the next minute it's this ship. You constantly hear about it from content creators who build their content around dogfighting and combat and all that stuff. You can easily go watch a content creator, figure out what the best meta ship is that right there, whatever ship is currently destroying ship. You know, it wasn't too long ago, it was the Corsair before they nerfed it. The Corsair was getting something like 47% of the kills in the verse, for God's sakes. You can melt some ship and pick up the Corsair. In a sense, buying whatever thing is going to make you win, right? In a sense, paying to win. I'm not saying it's as blatant pay to win as maybe these blades possibly are, but it's still a form of that. Now, I personally don't get tied up in the meta shit because it's always shifting, and I'm not going to make investments based off shit that's popular for a month. But the argument could be made that that is a thing. Now, I want to circle back before I hand it over to Enter. I want to circle back to my very first point, though, which my very first point is I wish these weren't sold for real money. Okay, so I wish they were not sold for real money. I agree with most of you in chat who are saying that. I agree it should not be a real money thing. But at the same time, I don't look at it as quite the big deal I think is everyone else. Because one, you get the trade-off. So if it makes you faster, it's actually going to make you slower in your maneuverability. That trade-off makes it not feel quite pay to win to me. And then two, you can play the meta game now with ships and buy whatever is the top killer ship and be better than the next person who does not have the ability to flex their wallet on a new ship or play the CCU game or whatever other thing. So that is my opinion on this. Don't think it's great that they're for sale, but I don't think it's what other content creators have been saying, which I've watched some of them, and literally they say it's the end of the game. I think that's ridiculous. So that's my point. Ender, I want to hand it over to you. I know you have a different point on this, and I would love to hear it. Ender's,
all right.
Ender's currently crying out of his butthole, by the way.
Getting there.
This is why we don't do two charity event, or this is why we don't do a charity event directly after St. Jude, by the way, because Ender's butthole does need time to heal.
My whole body needs time to heal. Plus, I don't have any hair to get rid of for the second one.
Yeah. All right, Ender, let's hear it, buddy.
Here's the deal. These aren't ships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The pay to win for the ships. Yes, I understand your point there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we're not talking about ships. We're talking about a part. We are talking about a simple piece that should never have gone onto the pledge store in the first place, much less for $15.
And even
What
more
are
on some ships. On the Hammerhead, it's 30
Yeah.
and 35.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Why is it that I'm having to pay real money for a ship part? Is the next thing that they're going to do is they're going to come out with a military power plant that now I'm going to be able to buy on the pledge store, and that power plant is going to give me more power to my guns, or but less what shields? Am I going to be able to buy a quantum drive now that's faster and goes further than all the other ones? But I don't know, whatever the downside of it would be. It doesn't matter that it's got a downside. It's the fact that we are having to buy a ship part that should have never been put in the pledge
component. Essentially,
they
a
are
component.
setting a precedence that they should have never set in the first place. They are saying you can buy your parts right here, but nobody will get access to that for 3 months because that is the standard we've already set. You have to get it from the pledge store for those first 3 months. So you have to throw money at this game. Now, I just got done saying how we need money into the game. This is not how you get money into the game. This is the wrong way to do it. This is heading towards microtransactions, but it's the wrong kind of microtransactions in my opinion. Ship parts should not be part of my microtransactions ever, especially if it's something I can't get in game for another 3 months. This is the wrong way to do it. This is the wrong way to go about this, and I think it's.
Can I ask you
I think it's bad.
Can I ask you a qualifying question to your point?
Absolutely.
Because I don't dismiss your point. I actually agree with you in a lot of ways. Prime Chris on Twitch. Prime, thanks for asking this, or thanks for putting this point in there, because I had heard this, but I wasn't sure of the numbers. Prime Chris says speed boost in nav mode changed from using the blades, changed from and I'm not sure which ship you're talking about, Prime Chris. I'd love to know which ship this is.
Yes, please.
But by using the speed boost blade, he said speed went from 1225 to 1235. It was a 10 meter per second increase.
That is even worse of a reason to have it on the pledge store.
That's a good point.
That boost is not much. So why am I going to spend 15? Let's say it's the $15.
It's almost like fake pay to win. It's like fake pay to win.
Aegis Gladius.
Yeah,
it is fake play to win.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting.
If it's available. So Justin Lemming asked if it's available in less than a month, does that change it? No, not at all. It should not be something that is ever unavailable outside of the pledge store.
Yeah, and Lemming, hope you're well, buddy.
Buy that part. I do hope you're doing well. If you want to buy that part and have that part permanently in your area, and I assume that buying these will get you eventually the ability to create them later.
Oh,
if I can do that.
Actually, damn it, that's a great question. Does buying them give you the blueprint in the future?
If it doesn't, I'm going to be absolutely livid. But I think this is a situation. I am going to go with the bright side of this part. I think this would be a situation where the blueprint is going to be available to you later. I think any gun, anything that you purchase, the blueprint will be available to you. But that said, I don't think any part should ever be purchasable on here without it being purchasable in game.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What if
go ahead.
What if CIG, because that thread, by the way, over here, I'm going to move back to the thread, is getting devastated with thumbs down, vomit emojis, pissed off emojis, clowned emoji, literally like dog shit emoji, like literally getting hammered. Okay. The most upvoted comment by 1.8 or 1,800 upvotes is literally someone saying selling performance altering modules and keeping them locked behind this paywall for even a short period of time is the definition of pay to win and not okay. So let me ask you this. Let's say CIG takes this temperature. They hear it and they say, okay, we're going to put in a hot fix where you can buy the modules or the flight blades from Platinum Bays or people that sell components. We're going to do that as quickly as possible. It's got to go into the game, so we got to, you know, it might take a week for us to do it. Do you think that, and that would probably be what happens on future Flight Blades too. Do you think that's okay, or do you think they should just not be on the store, period, and only in game?
No, I think that's okay.
Okay.
Because my thought process is, sorry, got a little bit of the
Carolina Reaper
in the back of my throat. Because I think at that point, what you're buying is it's not a pay to win, right?
Yep.
And what you're buying isn't necessarily the part; it's the blueprint.
Right.
That's where my mind is going. Now, is it factual? I don't know. Look, guys, I'm just as ignorant to what's going to happen in the future as you guys are. Okay.
Yeah.
But I like to try to lean on the good side of things, right? Try to think on the high side of it for this. I want to be able to pay to always have it if that's my option. I don't want this. I'm probably not going to get one. These particular blades aren't what I'm looking for, but I want to be able to get them.
Yeah. And by the way, they come with this Nightfall paint, by the way.
Right.
The paint
Which
you
is
keep.
cool.
Yeah. Which a lot of people
So
don't
you're
like
paying
either.
for
The
a paint.
You are getting a paint with it, though.
Come on.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. People don't like that you're getting the pay to win. Why are they not liking the paint? What's the complaint about the paint?
Well, I think they just think that it's a little bit of like CIG's putting this quote unquote really cool paint. Although I'd say that's subjective. Some people are going to like it, some people won't. But people are putting this really cool paint to sort of entice you to buy it as well. And they're doing that because they, you know, I've seen people say that they've sort of locked the paint behind a controversial,
or they're making the price make sense.
Price items. Yeah, I mean, I do think the paint is at least what, a $5 to $7 value for most of these smaller ships, right? Is that how much paint costs for like
smaller
a Gladius?
ships? I think you can get the hammerhead ones for a little more. I think they're making the price make sense.
It definitely offsets the price a little bit.
That's what we're looking at.
Yeah. I mean, one could only hope that CIG will take the temperature of the room here, do the right thing, and make a post sooner rather than later stating, hey, we've heard you on the blades. We do want to sell these in store, in the pledge store, because, you know, we're factoring that into our future game, you know, online infrastructure supporting numbers, but we are going to put them in game as viable in game and craftable in game as soon as possible. Hopefully they can course correct. I actually do understand and sympathize with the controversy here. By the way, Ape in Space asked question, are they still doing a full wipe on release of 1.0? Yes, they will. I'm sure they'll do that. Dark Hour just rated with a party of 9 viewers. Dark Hour. Salute to you. You just sent the Kraken right through the screen, which is just how we want to see it. Best ship in the game, obviously, or in the future game, I guess I should say. Dark Hour, thank you. I hope you had a great stream, by the way. But yes, Ape in Space, I do think they will wipe the game on 1.0. They almost have to. I think they will give a little bit of a something for people, though, during the beta phase of the game. Whenever we get to beta, I don't know what it will be, but maybe it's like any ships you earn in game, or maybe any AUEC you earn in game will transfer over to the 1.0 release. I don't know, but I don't think it'll be a full reset for all of us that have been testing. I think they'll give us a little something. Not so much to upset the balance, but a little something. So yeah, this is a controversial thing. I get the controversy. Let's go to the next part of this, though. Okay, we've talked about the flight blades. Let's talk about some of this next stuff. Here's one. The RSI Scorpius weapon kit. Now this comes with a paint and a new missile rack that replaces the turret on the top of the Scorpius. Now here's the interesting thing about this. This missile rack is pilot controlled. It fires however many, I think it's 8, it's 16 side, whatever. Let's actually look at the more info thing. So this is the RSI Lasath missile turret. Also comes with the Nightbreak paint, and it is stopped with 16 size 2 missiles. So and that's all pilot controlled. So a Scorpius pilot with this locked onto it will be able to control the 4 pilot controlled guns and have 16 size 2 missiles. This is a $25 weapon kit. This one's not getting near as much of the controversy. As a matter of fact, I haven't seen much controversy on this one. I have melted my Super Hornet Mark II because I do want to get the Scorpius now. I really kind of miss that ship. And I was eyeballing this missile turret because pilot controlled, that changes the ball game a little bit for me. I don't know. I like
a lot.
The Scorpius. I'll tell you this: the Scorpius is one of my favorite looking ships in the entire game, and not because it's a X-wing Star Wars thing. Actually, that doesn't factor into it at all. I just think it looks really cool. I'm a moderate Star Wars fan, for everyone to know. I'm more of a Star Trek fan, so it's not the X-wing lineage. I just love the Scorpius. I think it's an awesome looking ship. So
I do too. I very much enjoy the Scorpius.
Yeah. So there you go. This is the Lasath missile turret, and again, what I heard is that it is pilot controlled. So you could probably control it from the back seat too, but that really changes the ball game for me. So I am now looking hard at that Scorpius. So I melted my Mark II Super Hornet, and I melted the Heartseeker weapon pack that came with it. I just don't fly it, you know what I mean? And I said, you know what, I want to fly a ship that I think looks cool. So it's almost the exact price. Melting that almost gets you the Scorpius. I think it's like I don't think you have to pay any more money. It's like just for credit at that point. So
nice.
Now let's go to the controversial thing though. So that's the Scorpius weapon pack. Pretty cool.
That wasn't controversial enough. Okay, let's go.
No. Let's go to let's go to another one that's not controversial. Actually, we'll get to the controversial one. Here's the next one. This one is for the Nova Tonk. This is the weapon kit for it, which is a size 5 MV57 ballistic Gatling gun. You can see it in the little image down here. Essentially, it changes the barrel on the Nova tank to be a repeating ballistic Gatling gun. Right. Pretty cool. I haven't seen a lot of controversy over this one. People were excited about it. I've seen people getting their Novas out of buyback for it. $15 for that new gun there. Again, all these things, by the way, you're going to be able to get in game. CIG has said as much. But now let's get to the controversial one. Okay, let's go ahead and get to it.
Yeah.
The bomb racks. Okay, there is a 2-pack, a 4-pack, and a 6-pack. Okay, I'll just open one of these up. We're going to go back to the 6-pack. The 6-pack gives you includes 6 size 3 Castillo bomb racks for a variety of ships. It is compatible with the Avenger, the Gladius, the Arrow, the Hornet Mark 1 and 2, the Banu Defender, the Crusader Mercury, which is a bizarre one, the Drake Buccaneer, the Asperia Talon, the Misk Freelancer, Misk Reliant, and the RSI Mantis. And what this does is it goes onto the weapon hard points where there'd usually be a gun. You can then carry the new size 3 bombs that CIG just released on there. So you could take an Arrow and turn the Arrow into a little mini bomber ship. Now, there's been some controversy around this because people say being able to pay money to alter the role of a ship is going too far. 9-5 in chat says the bomb racks are legit weird. Quinn says, where the hell does it go on the Mercury? Yeah, I'd wonder that too, actually. I can't imagine the Mercury carrying size 3 bombs, but what a weird choice for a ship. A lot of people are also mad that the one ship not on the damn list is the Anvil Gladiator, which is a bomber. But my thinking there is that the Gladiator is such an old concept. I haven't heard this from a developer, by the way, so don't take my word on this, but I've heard it from someone who does know some developers, and I heard something to the effect of, and again, I could be wrong on this, take it with a grain of salt, but I heard something to the effect of that the Gladiator is planning on getting not just a once over or being brought to, it's going to get a pretty substantial kind of relook, and they probably just don't want to go back and redo this functionality for the Gladiator. I think the Gladiator's that far out of date, just so everyone knows. But let's talk about bomb racks, because you can't buy these in game yet either. There's a 3 months exclusivity on these. What is your opinion on this, Ender? Is it the same as the blades, or do you feel a little different about these? Now, these are weapons to me, but they are changing the role of a ship.
I don't think you should be able to change the role of a ship for any reason. It doesn't make sense.
Would you say there's some
Um,
similarities here, though? Let's take an F-18. You were in the Navy. Let's take an F-18. Let's say
fuck.
we are slapping some bombs on it, or it's a mission where there's not a lot of bombs. They're just going to be running guns and maybe Sidewinder missiles or something. Or are Star Citizen ships, can they be considered like multi-role, like ships like the F-18 or planes like the F-18 are?
I think light fighters should be,
Mhm.
and you make a good fucking point, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut because damn it.
Well,
No, but you make a good point. I mean, making it a multi-role makes sense. Making it able to do
yeah.
multiple things makes sense. So
Well, and this is not a, I mean, when you think about it, those kits for the Idris, that T kit turning the Idris into a torpedo boat from a railgun boat, energy beam boat to now a torpedo boat is a change too. And that is really interesting. It'll be interesting to see where this goes in the future with being able to push and pull the roles of these ships, right? Um, being able to switch out the hard points in more substantial ways than this. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's a. I like that bomb racks are coming in. I do wish this hit the store the same time it hit the pledge store. I wish it hit the in-game store. I don't think
yeah,
this is as controversial because it's not playing with stats. But again, that goes back to my old argument. I've said this so many times. I've said this so many times. Um, and chat, you don't have to take my opinion on this. By the way, thank you everybody for hanging out. We got 123 on YouTube and 57 over on Twitch. Really appreciate it.
I am.
Um, but where I'm going with this is just my personal opinion is to never buy ships in Star Citizen based off their stats, their numbers, their weapon hard points, anything like that. I just think they're too, or the ship's performance or anything like that. Anytime I read stuff about performance, I ignore it completely. So, for example, the Polaris was a ship I was always excited about. One of the things I always said about the Polaris was it's supposed to be a fast capital. Like it's supposed to be like faster than any other capital ship, right? That's part of its sort of, its mystique. I didn't read into that at all. I could care less. I know they slowed the ship down a lot just recently. I didn't read to that at all because they're going to push and pull those numbers whatever they need to hit the game balance. But what I have always said is buy a ship for its advertised role. That is something John Crew has said as well. That the only real guarantee with a ship is its role. These bomb
Yeah,
racks are kind of changing that a little bit, where the role's not changing, but it allows the role to be flexed a little bit, which is kind of interesting.
sure. Yeah,
And it'll be interesting to see where this goes. You know what I mean? Because
I
you do
agree.
start asking questions. You do start asking questions like, what if they come out with a kit for the Ares series that allows you to switch out the gun on it, the bespoke gun, with a bespoke beam weapon gun, right?
Hmm.
Or some bespoke distortion gun that brings down shields almost instantly. We don't
Right.
know. You know what I mean? Um,
We don't.
so, real quick, everyone, we're going to pause there for a second. I want to highlight, please remember, we are doing the Anvil Carrick with LTI giveaway tonight for St. Jude. That is a $50 donation to our Tiltify link. If you are on YouTube, that Tiltify link is pinned to the top of chat. Just click on that link. Donate your $50. You get a ticket for the Anvil Carrick. If you're on Stream Elements, or sorry, if you're on Twitch, I'll pop up that link now. Go ahead, Ender.
Currently only 26 entries, guys. So
You have a pretty good
got a pretty
chance.
decent
This one.
chance here, guys.
$50 donation though for the Anvil Carrick will be given that way really shortly here. We got probably about 20 minutes left of the show, everyone. So now's the time if you want to get in on that raffle. The Anvil Carrick, I don't need to say this, but any of you have ever watched any StarJump content will know I've talked about the Carrick. The Carrick is going to be an amazing ship when we get to the 1.0 phase of Star Citizen. It is already one of the most flexible ships, and in some ways you could probably call it the Mary Sue ship because it does have a little bit of everything. And it would not shock me if the Carrick at some point does not get some sort of weapons kit. But that aside, in future gameplay, the Carrick, I think, is going to have a lot of flexibility, drone support, cartography. Lazy Donuts just donated $50, unlocking an art supply for St. Jude and towards the Carrick. Lazy, appreciate you, buddy. Lazy has also donated ships to this, so we really appreciate it.
Yes, he has. Ships done a lot, done a whole lot.
And big thank you to all of our donators tonight. We've had some amazing donations come in. Play-Doh absolutely just blew the house over with a $500 donation.
Killing me with that.
Yeah, we've had a number of $50 donations. And every dollar counts, everyone. $10 donation, $20 donation, they all matter, and we really do appreciate it. We're up to $17,735 raised in the last 45 days. Okay, that's incredible. Lifetime raised $34,178. Everyone give Ender a big old salute for the efforts he's made over the past few years with the STARJUMP Guardian stuff.
Give it to Grim too. He's been doing an amazing job.
Okay. Everyone, give Ender his due. It's been absolutely amazing so far. We got 15 more days to go, and we are trucking towards that May 30th giveaway of an RSI Polaris Corvette. Big thing, a real quick thing on the RSI Polaris real quick. Remember, it does fire, it can carry 28 size 10 torpedoes. And remember, with Invictus Launch Week, a bunch of new type of torpedoes came out, including size 10 ones. We now have cross-section torpedoes, IR torpedoes, all kinds of stuff like that. And there are differences. I'll bring up this little document here, and you can kind of see some of those. It's kind of interesting. For example, these are looking at the size 10 torpedoes. There's several different kinds, the Vanquisher and the Executor. You'll notice that they have different speeds, they have different prices, different damage amounts, different arm time, or no, they're all the same arm time, but they have, so they have different lock minimum ranges and different lock maximum ranges, which is really cool. They also have different lock angles. So they're really adding some customability into the loadouts on the torpedo side of things. And there's this really interesting torpedo listed here, the Vandal Cleaver, which sounds insane. That's not in game. You can't get it in game yet, but this thing has literally has a 0 distance lock minimum, which is crazy. But anyways, it's really cool. Some of the torpedo stuff they're bringing. Altzilla just donated $50 to unlock art supplies for St. Jude and the Anvil character. Altzilla, thank you very much, everyone. We are trucking forward. I think the amount raised will change here in just a minute because I think it was $785 there at the end. But anyways, thank you everyone for those donations. Ender is going to start prepping the list. Now, Tibbles just donated $100 towards the Anvil Carrick and the Red Wagon for St. Jude.
Thank you.
Whoo, boy. Everyone, we are killing it tonight. We are now, we are now only, let's see, what are we? Are we 100? Oh, we have just passed. We just got a $150 donation from Tailgater Ape in Space towards the Anvil Carrick. Ender, we are now at $18,035 raised, my friend.
Jesus. I was just trying to get to 17.5 and we
killed it, everybody.
Blown that out of the water.
Tailgater,
job, guys.
Tibbles, Altzilla, Lazy Donuts, Play-Doh, Tibbles, and I can't see the list anymore. All the rest of you that donated tonight, seriously, salute to you. I'm giving you the big giant salute. All this money going to sick kids and their families. Ender, we've got about 10 minutes left of the show. You might want to start prepping the old list. We might get a few more that come in.
Prepping.
All right, Ender's prepping. I'm gonna go to this next thing real quick, everybody. And this is sort of my last diatribe on this. Is we talked about this. It's a controversial time, but I want to go back to this. Make sure the things that disappoint you in this game, as someone who does know a few developers, and I don't say that as in like I have some big inside thing with them. I just have I've talked with them, but I don't ask them stuff. I don't pry. I don't do anything like that. I don't have no inside track. But what I will say is, remember, the developers and the people working in marketing, they're not the people making these pricing decisions and stuff like this. This is stuff from leadership. If you have complaints, just voice it on Spectrum or wherever else in a constructive, positive manner. I promise, from what I know of them, they do read this stuff. They do follow the forums. They follow Reddit. They follow Spectrum. Even though they're not maybe very vocal on there, they do follow those things, I promise you. They're players too. Remember, a lot of the people at CIG actively play this game. Well, some of them are full-on backers that have been around from the beginning and just got jobs there because they loved it. Okay, so again, do it constructively. That's not being white knighty. That's being strategic. Okay, you want to get change in a project you love. Be strategic. Be strategic. Okay, don't be like those people that just burn the people at the stake here. Be strategic. Be positive. Use that put your words together in a way to enact change, and maybe they'll read it and maybe they'll hear that. Okay, so but they are real people, and there are a lot of really great people. They want this game to be great just like we do. This game is a dream. We all hope it will turn out the way we want. We hope it'll turn into that dream we want. It might not. There's never been a game like this before. We hope it will. Mistakes have been made along the way. There's been successes and failures, but we're all part of it. We're all in it together, and this is just another controversy that will get past. There's been controversies in the past that have popped up, and CIG has course corrected. Remember when the whole Galaxy thing came up and everyone was mad that the base building module wasn't happening? John Crew came back a day later and said, "We'll make it. We're going to make the base building module for the Galaxy." Okay?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is give them a chance. It's day one of Invictus. Just be constructive with your feedback. Okay? Amuki just came in with a $100 donation towards the RSI Polaris and a red wagon for St. Jude.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Amuki, giving you a double salute there. Everyone that donated tonight. We're now up to $34,578. We are at 18,135 raised so far. We're marching towards to 20,000. I told Ender by the time we get to May 31st, we're going to hit $20,000 for these sick kids because of our amazing community, and I still believe that's going to happen. So,
yeah,
Ender,
can't argue it anymore.
Ender, where are we at with our list for an Anvil carrot?
We're just about done with it.
Okay,
I just want to get a Mookie on there.
While you're getting that set up,
make sure I'm not missing any names.
I'm going to take us to this. I'm not sure if everyone was able to watch the trailer for Invictus, but it was really well done. Really, really well done. I want to go ahead and hit play on it. Let's watch it. For someone who does a lot of CG stuff, this has a lot of particle dynamic simulation stuff in it. I can tell you that is not easy to do. So big shout out to CIG for doing such a great trailer. Altzilla says 20K easy. I believe it too. I believe it too. Here we go, everyone. I'm going to watch this trailer while Ender works on the list.
Alone. We are worlds apart. But together, we are an empire formed by purpose. To live. To thrive. To fight. Our enemies adapt in the chaos. Threats are shifting and ever-changing.
It sounds like it, Lazy.
And new challenges emerge to try us and tear us apart. Unpredictable are our battles. Unrelenting is our fight. But no matter the forces against us, we will prevail. We rise as one. And together, we hold our ground with everything that we have. Now is the time to unite in purpose.
Damn, that trailer. CIG killed it with that trailer. They killed it. Did a damn good job with that trailer.
And getting my last name here.
It's been a really cool first day, everyone. One thing I did notice, by the way, that the other new ships that are on the show floor, like the Guardian MX, the Asgard, they are not purchasable, and the Starlancer attack are not purchasable yet. Those will be purchasable on those manufacturer days. So that's how they're doing it. Kind of interesting, different. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but kind of cool, I think. Out of all those, I'm personally only interested in checking out the Asgard. I don't think I really have a need for it, but I do want to check it out. Pretty cool looking. I guess I wish the inside had been a little different personally. It's a little bare bones. But regardless, you have those new ships to look for, the Starlancer attack Guardian MX, which I know our good buddy VMXEO is pretty attracted to, and of course the Anvil Asgard. Real quick thing too, I want to say is for those of you waiting for the new ships to hit Fleet Viewer, let me go ahead and give an update on those. Those ships are being worked on for Fleet Viewer. Some of them are already done. We were able to, and this is big thanks to VMXEO in chat. Make sure you give him a thanks, and also, and honestly, a big thanks to all the Star Citizen modding community people. There's a Star Citizen modding Discord. All the community members over there, who I think VMXEO would agree, have all sort of collectively solved the problems of updating StarFab along with VM and Ventivar and all those guys. And they've done a fantastic job, and we're marching towards being able to fully pump out ships again. But regardless, VMXEO has pumped out some great renders. Here is one for the Starlancer attack. It's not in Fleet Viewer yet, but it's coming. He also redid the Starlancer Max, so it looks a lot better now here. Here's the Max. Again, they look absolutely fantastic. Great job, VM. Those will hit Fleet Viewer soon, along with the Atlas Geo. Those three are ready. The Asgard, the Guardian MX, and the Greycat MTC, those are being worked on. I just ask you all to please be patient. But those are actively being worked on. We'll, of course, get them into Fleet Viewer as soon as we possibly can. Our goal is to get it updated as quick as we can. For those of you that have won custom Fleet Viewer liveries, as I told you before, those are going to be worked on after Invictus. Okay, I'm going to wait till after Invictus is done, and then I will work on those. They shouldn't take too awful long, and I'll get those worked up, and we'll get those populated into Fleet Viewer. So.
Grim and
yes.
names. Oh, come on. It did it. Hold on. I got to do it a weird way because it is trying to do it a weird way.
Everyone, Ender is about to send me the names to the Anvil Carrick giveaway, so you've really only got probably a few more minutes to get a donation in if you want a ticket to get in the Anvil Carrick raffle tonight. He's about to send me the names, and we're going to do this. We're going to give it about, Ender, maybe about 2 more minutes of leaving the giveaway raffle open?
Yeah. Okay. 2 more minutes is a good amount.
Okay.
And names, Grim, are yours, sir.
Thank you. One other thing, too, people, is I have heard, chat, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I have heard that the Idris is now not a loaner for any ship. Including the Javelin, Kraken, stuff like that. It's the Polaris is the loaner for those ships. I don't know how everyone feels about that. I'm personally okay with that. The Polaris is not a bad ship to be as a loaner. You usually get the Polaris and a couple of others. I think that what they want to do is just not give the Javelin or the Idris out to like a ton of people and just flood the servers with Idrises. I think the Polaris is a fine loaner. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the Polaris. It's an incredible ship. And for those of you that were curious, it has been stated that, as a matter of fact, let me pull it up here while we're giving it a couple more minutes. Let me pull this little thing up. A couple more things that have come out about the ships that people might want to know, especially on the Polaris, is an additional interior pass is coming to the Polaris to increase its richness while reducing some of the visual complexity of the exterior. So I think what they're going to, I think all that means is optimization. So I think the Polaris is going to get optimized and get a full interior rework in terms of decal and texture work. So I think that's going to be great. And again, there's a lot of other stuff. For example, we learned that the Executive 600i will have a slightly different exterior as compared to the two 600i, so that will be kind of interesting. The Galaxy will launch with a refinery, cargo, and medical module. The base building module will come later. They did talk about, again, the Perseus getting the size 8. Now, this is all supposedly coming from John Crew, but I would take some of this with a grain of salt. The Perseus getting its dual size 8s. They said the reward for Squadron 42 now will be for completion of Squadron 42 will be a mysterious little spaceship. So that's kind of interesting. And a bunch of other stuff was talked about of note. So again, if you should kind of pay attention to the all ships Q&A that will happen tomorrow. I'm sure that will be John Crew, Ben Curtis, maybe a couple other people. The all ships Q&A, those should be a lot of fun. I'm sure John Crew is going to go a lot into this stuff. I have a feeling he'll talk about the Polaris interior pass. I think he's going to probably talk about the Idris and Javelin exterior reworks. He'll probably talk a little bit about the Javelin, how that's going. I think before it had like 5 modular rooms, but I've now heard that that's been reduced. The Javelin is going to launch with 2 modular rooms is what I've heard. So again, interesting to see how that will net out. All right, everybody, we're switching over. Ender, let's go ahead and end the raffle so that we can do this giveaway.
Bringing up the raffle, bringing it up.
Still 2 raffles
right,
ongoing, everybody, for a Misk Fortune and for a RSI Polaris. And I do still believe we have a Super Hornet we're going to be starting very soon, right?
Yes, we have the Super Hornet that is on the 26th.
Yeah, we have a so we'll probably start that Super Hornet right when this giveaway ends or soon after, maybe tomorrow, but that one will start and you'll be able to go for that one. We'll give a Super Hornet Mark II away.
We'll start it. Hell, I'll go ahead and start it now. Really.
So now there's a Super Hornet available to
the rest of the ships will be available.
Yeah,
if there are no more ships.
This is all the ships. So
this is all of them. So the Super Hornet is available, and it's up. The Carrack is going offline in 5, 4, 3, 2. Anyone who has entered has at least a 1 in 33 chance to win. The Carrack is now offline, Grim.
There we go. There we go.
No new names.
All right. I like it. I like it. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and do this. We are going to spin the wheel. Good luck to those that, whoever the winner is, whether you're watching the stream right now or not watching the stream, Ender will reach out to you via email and get that worked out, and then we'll coordinate with GearCon to get the ship to you. This is a big one, everybody. The Anvil Carrack, really, really cool ship. Here we go. We're clicking the spin the wheel. We're doing that now. Random wheel of names. Here we go. Good luck. Shimsky. Shimsky has won the Anvil Carrack. There we go. There we go. Everyone, do a nice little 07 for Shimsky. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Do a little salute to Shimsky. Congratulations. That's incredible. Captain Mike Sparrow, thank you for the follow. Salute to you. Really appreciate it.
Going to the Gmail. Shimsky, if you're in the chat, there's an email coming to your Gmail account right about meow.
Very nice. Very nice.
So congratulations. You've won the Carrack.
Nice.
Need some information.
Michael Mansfield just donated $15 for the Misk Fortune. So really, really cool. Really cool. Thank you very much, Michael Mansfield. Appreciate the donations. Everyone tonight, thank you for the donations. You've pushed us to $34,593 total raised lifetime, with a current amount raised for the month of April and May this year, well, halfway through May, of $18,150. We are cruising steadily to $20,000 raised. I think you should all be proud of yourselves. I do have someone I want to raid, someone I've never been able to raid before, but I can finally repay the favor. When I send you all over there, I want you to give them that good old-fashioned STARJUMP love. Please do that. I'm going to send you over to, let's see here, real quick. Captain Mike Sparrow says, hey, guys, just curious about the site, Atlas Geo. Yes, the Atlas Geo is coming. Starlet has it in hand. It will be integrated in a matter of days, probably. So it is coming, Captain Mike. It's coming. Took a little longer to get that one done. But we're going to send you over to the Yacht Club, everyone. I want you to make sure you give them...
we've not been able to raid them.
Have not been able to raid them. So I want you to give them some STARJUMP love. Please pass it along. We really appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, doing all the incredible donations. It was just a lot of fun. I appreciate you, Ender, for being on here, waxing poetic with me about Invictus. Everyone, do something kind for a stranger, as always. It's great. It's great to do these shows and be able to connect with you all. We will see you next week when we have more giveaways. Until then, everyone have a good night. Thank you.